you ready?
Get it! And cut the music. Welcome to another Off Track Yarns, guys. I've got to do that absolute pumped up intro. I love it. For anybody that's new to the channel, I'm Dylan from Off Track 4x4, which does camping, 12 volt sort of accessories, camping products reviews. So if you're interested in any of that sort of stuff, get across the channel. QR code down here or down here, it's somewhere. And there's a link in the description. And I have discount codes and stuff to that channel as well. So there'll be discount code, QR code that's appearing somewhere on the screen. And yeah, you can save yourself some money there as well. But what I wanted to do before we start, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, man, the comments last week, they were all, I'm pretty sure 99, if not 100% of the comments all started with backing for me to do this by myself and praise and talk about how good it was for me to do it by myself. So just want to let you guys know that doesn't fall on deaf ears. It is absolutely massively appreciated from me, and it means the world. This is a fair bit of work for me to put together, and I love that you guys are actually enjoying it and getting behind it and want me to keep going. There was a lot of comments saying, why don't I get guest hosts each week? So what do you think I'm going to be doing? Guest hosts each week. So we do have one for this week coming up. And yeah, you don't have to be anywhere near Hervey Bay. You can be Australia-wide and log in remotely, which this episode will be showing you. So if you're another channel and you're interested in jumping on and being a guest host, send me a message on Instagram and we'll tee it up. But yeah, without any further ado, let's go get our guest host. Back in a second. Okay, here we are. We've got our special guest host, as long as I've actually been able to do the computer part right. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey Dylan, how are you, mate? What's going on with your shirt there?
It is absolutely muggy as all hell. So sorry, everybody. I'm not
Can't
buttoning
be
it up
too
any
hot.
further.
You Queenslanders, mate. Where's your chain? You got a chain under there?
No chain, not a gangster. Maybe I should get one.
Yeah. Anyway, great to be on the show. It's Craig here. I'm with Craig and Tracy, actually, Caravans by the Campfire. And we started out a couple of years ago just reviewing vans because we were out there looking to buy our own van, and it was such a complicated marketplace to find the right one. So that's really how we started, and we've got a couple of little touring videos, a couple of how to do it videos. But yeah, we're having fun, so that's the main thing, mate. So great to be on here as your first guest host.
You are the lucky number one.
Thank you.
Lot of expectation, a lot of pressure on your shoulders to make an absolute ripper episode.
Oh, okay, I'll do that, mate. You'll have to sign me up.
So
No worries, we'll do our best, mate.
Yeah, talking about your channel, have you had, because you've obviously got the 3 different types of videos there, have you found any of the videos sort of get punished a bit more with the algorithm?
I think, yes. Videos about caravans and makes of caravans, makes of caravans. I'll just start that little bit again, mate. Videos about caravans.
Remember, everything stays in there. You make a mistake, it stays in. We're raw.
Cool, mate.
We're
Okay.
uncut. We're filming.
I'm up for that then. Righto. So all of our vans reviews go pretty well. You know, some are up there 50, 60, 70,000. When we do a touring video, they're quite slow and they get to 4 or 5K.
Yep.
And then when we do a how to do it video, unless it really hits a particular mark, they sort of sit about 1 or 2,000.
Yep.
So I guess to answer your question, yes, it does have an impact. Whether we should separate all of those, I'm not sure. Once you get subscribers and they're watching your channel and you have a point of interest or difference from the rest, people do tend to watch. And the thing we get most excited about is being completely independent. We can say and do whatever we want in a fair and reasonable manner. And people respect that, so we're not from the industry. And we get a lot of comments, mate, and I try and answer all the comments, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. And it's been an exciting time. So to answer your question simply, it does have a little impact. Just depends whether you're concerned about it or not.
Yeah, which is funny because as we sort of touched on with the yarns, it absolutely obliterated my product reviews, and now I'm working to get them back up. I'm sort of sitting around the 1,000 mark where I used to be on 3,000 per product review.
One thing I do find is if you can as a content creator, if your main target audience, say in your case, is the product reviews, whatever else you do by making content, if you can relate it somehow to a product review, you won't suffer as much.
Yeah, so we actually had a really nice head engineer from Google came and stayed at our hip camp and gave us a whole bunch of information.
Yep.
And funny you say that, that's exactly what he said. He said as long as you can base all the content in the same environment, then the algorithm's happy to promote it.
Yeah.
It's when it's completely left field. Like I tried to do travel videos with product reviews, and they didn't go well.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a couple of videos do pretty well, travelling videos that are related to travelling with your van and how it performs.
Yep.
So whilst you're showing people pretty pictures and aerial shots of different activities, you're really there to talk about how this van's performing in that environment.
Yep. It's funny how it all works, isn't it?
Yeah, look, there are greater minds than ours, mate, I'm sure, trying to work all this out, or in fact, greater minds than anyone. I don't know what AI is doing out there, but it's just, it dissects every single word of your content and categorises it.
Yep.
And runs with it, just puts it in front of anyone that's using those words or watching shows with those words. It's quite a fascinating thing. So we're all got to just try harder, mate.
That's true. Okay, let's get on with the episode. So the first thing we want to talk about, we just want to update everyone on where we're tracking on the path to monetization so we can start giving that money back to charity. Yeah. Do you have it on the screen there? Do you want to read out the numbers, what our subscribers are so far and the watch hours?
Yeah, mate, look, we're up to 718 subscribers. So if you're out there now, just hit that subscribe button because this is for a really good cause. And you've had 7,500 views, 1.1k watch hours.
Yep.
So that's where we're at so far.
So yeah, we need to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So we're on our way. We're off and racing. I'm actually going to be, by the time this is up, there'll be a video up which is just, it'll either be some sort of changing colour screens. I'll probably make it about an hour or 2 hours long. So please go on, play that in the background on your computer, and that'll just help those watch hours get up. So it'll just be nothing. So yeah, just have it playing in the background on your computer to help get that.
Yeah, look, maybe we should do the Joe Rogan style podcast, mate, and talk for 3 or 4 hours.
Does he go for 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah, look, the average is about 2 hours 45, 3 hours.
Wow.
And they're just casual conversations about whoever he's got on, whether it's a brain surgeon, rocket scientist, another comedian, MMA fighter. They just talk and, providing it's of interest and the topics flow, people watch that stuff, mate.
He'd be making some money off YouTube then, because there'd be a fair few ads based in that 2 hours.
Yeah, I think so. I think he got, a few years ago, he went to Spotify and got 300 million or something. Just to move platforms, and their share price went through the roof. Oh. And they recovered their money like, 5-fold instantly. But I noticed he is back on YouTube.
So that's all we need to get this channel to, and then we can give all that money to charity.
Yeah, that'd be good, mate. You could do some really serious work for people around the community, couldn't you?
Yep. Okay, next thing we want to touch on, the money raised for charity. So we're still obviously doing the PayPal, so the QR code will appear on the screen if you want to give to charity. Last week was Salvation Army. We just want to read out those 3 people that donated through PayPal, and one of them was humongous. So do you want to read the people out and what they gave?
Yeah, mate. Look, Stuart Calvin, special shout out to him. $205, and don't forget the 65 cents. That's a champion, mate. Tracy as well, Tracy Attard, Joseph Harnell, $20, $50. That's good. Any amount of money can help whatever the cause is for that week. So well done to you guys.
So that's all going to the Christmas appeal for the Salvation Army to give some presents for the kids, for Chrissy. So that's a really good cause, and total of $276 raised, which now I think we're closing in. We've probably gone past the 1,500 mark since the channel started. So that's all you guys. It's got nothing to do with me, and it's absolutely massive effort. Also, I said I was going to donate $50, so I'll also chuck in my $50, which takes that to over the $300 mark. So the biggest week the channel has ever had. So mate, thank you guys.
If you're going to donate 50, I have to donate 50 as well.
Oh, there we go.
It's only the fair thing to do, mate.
So that puts us that's well and truly the biggest week.
World record.
Whatever it is, I'll total it up and I'll chuck the receipt up for the money going to charity, going to the Salvos. Next week, the charity, you actually suggested this one, another one along the lines for Chrissy as well.
Yeah, I'm a little bit careful about charities and who gets the money and what's done with it. I think that's a common theme out there.
Yep.
I was looking around in particular for someone that's going to put meals and food on the table for kids in need or families in need. And I come across the Food Bank Christmas Appeal,
Yep.
which seemed to just me to meet that requirement. So that's my choice of the week, mate.
And what
You
I
know, and
love,
$50. What did you say? $50 I think means how many meals?
300 meals.
Yeah,
So
that's excellent.
it shows if we get to $300, man, that's a lot of meals that's going to be provided to people in need.
Yeah, and you just got to think too. It's a charity, and it's Christmas time, and you
Yep.
reflect on your own family and environment, and how great it is to see kids smiling when they're eating something special for Christmas,
Yep.
let alone nothing.
Yep.
So if we can do this, that's a good thing.
And can I just mention, you don't have to give $20, you don't have to give 50, you don't have to give 200, you can give $2. There's literally an option to do $2. You can give 50 cents. You can literally change it to whatever amount you want. Because if a whole bunch of people give $1, let's say 100 people gave $1, that's $100. So,
Yeah.
and then that's, what's that, 600 meals for people. So give $1 if that's all you got. It doesn't have to be a big amount. So the QR code will be below again, and there's a link in the description as well to get to that PayPal to donate.
Yeah, sounds great, mate.
Okay, into our first segment. We are rocking and rolling at this.
Good.
So this one, because of the dyslexia, I'm going to leave it to you to read the comments.
Oh, okay. Right, first comment. Now, this is 3 days ago. It's about content creators. Many content creators just need a spoonful of cement to harden up. If you're going to put yourself out there on social media, you'd expect comments and reaction to be varied. On many occasions, I have commented on YouTube episodes with suggestions, with only the best of intent, to then receive nasty and hateful replies because they are too arrogant to see I was trying to help them. The really stupid part is, I then see their true colours and unsubscribe.
This one's a bit saucy.
Well, look, a lot of people are out there commenting, and I know commenting, the deletion of comments on channels, is a really topical subject. And look, Bundy too, right, has made this comment, and I think, look, with all respects to everyone that's out there on YouTube, there are some excellent content creators, very approachable, and then there's another group that aren't so approachable. And I think they can be a little precious, but you've got to think too, they are putting themselves out there, and that's something you've got to cope with. But they are investing. They don't want to work against some of these people. You've got to understand that. They're on there making videos, hoping to get a lot of subscribers, make a lot of influence, generate some income so they can continue traveling. And the byproduct of that is to show us what they're doing. So I think some are a little sensitive, and to Bundy too, I think you're right. Who's that Australian comedian? Harden the something up.
Yeah.
That's what I sort of come straight to mind when I saw that comment. But look, I agree. Look, any opportunity to respond to a comment, whether it's positive or negative, as a creator, I think you need to embrace that so that you can put your message out there.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter, if Bundy too says something about my video, I'm quite happy to answer. Yep. If he tells me, something shameful or hurtful or things that you just wouldn't normally say when you start talking about their body shapes and that kind of stuff. That's probably an argument to say, look, that's a bit too much. It's across the line. But when they're just talking about, you've decorated inside of your van pink and I don't like pink and why don't you use yellow? Why, you just got to respond to that.
Yep.
I love pink, thanks Bundy too. And, maybe I'll tone it down a shade or whatever. And if he's making a sensible comment, you just got to, people are driven to comment. So you got to take it on board.
Something I'm big on, the people commenting are your subscription base. So generally, they are giving you information back on what needs to change on your channel to keep performing well. So if you do listen to some of the comments, then you actually will go better.
Yeah, well, that's right. You have to respond. And early on when you put videos out and people comment straight away, they typically are your subscribers. You get some people that just join 5 minutes beforehand to make a statement. And usually they might be motivated by, where they work or what they think, or who the competitor is, or maybe they are a competitor. And they just join and do that keyboard warrior stuff. So fine, I just respond. And I respond to every single comment.
Yep.
So we've never deleted a comment. Channels that delete comments, unless they're really nasty, I don't think they're really worth much at all.
I still leave them because they help the algorithm.
Yeah, and look, you usually get people, if you're making a good, sensible comment and someone makes a ridiculous one, you'll get other people jump on there in support of what you're saying.
Yep.
And that's really what you want, because you just want to be genuine and upfront.
Yep.
Anyway.
Okay, next comment.
Next comment. Righto. This one is from Stewie Run 9940. Well done, big fella. I'd imagine he's talking about you and your open shirt. Right? Maybe put the call out to YouTubers going past, like Miriam and Chris ADU, Haley and Brad, Our Australia Trip, Derek and Sue Just Fanning It, or someone like Chris and Sian. Well, it might be Sian, S-I-A-N. Apology if I got that wrong. Big Oz, going into the next part of their life, full-time travel, right? Just to name a few. Something to talk about travelers' sponsorship by states, one by WA, and another Queensland parks that I know of. So what he's saying there at the end, I'll just paraphrase that. So he understands that a couple of travellers have got a sponsorship from the states, Western Australia or Queensland, for their national parks. So I don't know about that. Anyway, free to use. Yeah. That's fine. Thanks, Stewie. I don't know. What do you think about that, mate?
Yeah, so ADU's an interesting one. So I have a fair bit of chats with them. I'm going to be heading down to Brizzy where they are. Yep. Hopefully catching up with them. We'll see if we can make the planets align and see if we can hopefully get him in on an episode or do a True Blue Chinwags. We'll see what comes of that.
Yeah.
The other guys, unfortunately, I have reached out to bar Big Oz. I do chat to Big Oz a bit, and I'm hoping to go to their hip camp and film one with them because I'd love to promote their hip camp. But yeah, sadly, Our Australia Trip and Just Vanning It didn't even respond to me.
Yeah.
And what was a bit awkward, Lloyd actually saw Derek at BCF and was chatting to him for about an hour, and then I shot him a message asking him if he wanted to come on and be part of the channel, but didn't get a reply. So, and that was to his actual email, so he would have got 100% got it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
Go on. Sorry, mate.
You'd love to get all these people on. It would be great to have it, but I want to touch on it. This is obviously a bit of a touchy, prickly channel.
Yeah.
And some content creators are scared to be part of it, which is all good. As we know, not many of them like to go too hard at the national parks closing, where I go absolutely hard, and I will be organising a protest to stop it because something needs to happen.
Great. We'll be on that. I know we're going to talk about it later on, that war at the beach. We were just down there last week and made a little vid on it. But, look, these people here, Haley and Brad, I've interviewed myself previously, and they're just lovely people. Why they wouldn't have responded, I don't know.
So they did respond, they just were a little bit too busy.
Right, okay. Well, you got to make yourself available. That's what I think. If a channel like you, or us today, right, reach out and say, do you want to come on and talk about something? I think that's a good thing. It's an opportunity for them to put themselves forward so that people like us can understand them a little bit better. Now, they are out there and they're all established channels. Some of them have been around longer than others, and they're out there, with a voice. I met Miriam and Chris, even though they won't know, at a show for caravans in Sydney probably 2 years ago, and back then they were with Titanium, and they just did the most professional, excellent job of talking, liaising, nurturing potential customers and sales that I've really seen. You'd want to employ them, right? So, look, that was good. That's what I saw there that was good. And they've changed van companies now. I expect very shortly we're going to be bombarded with Sunland Caravan information. I think it's already out there. And it'd be great to see what they've got coming up, because they're going to be out there travelling, I would presume, and we're looking forward to seeing new innovative products in the marketplace. So, and as for Derek and Sue, we did reach out to them at one point when they changed vans, and because I have this view that when you change vans, that's fine, but there's thousands of people watching and they do get influenced. and you just owe some explanation. Whether it's a change of direction, that's fine. But to offer no explanation, to me, is not really good for the people that are watching. But anyway, that's fine. So if you can get those people on, well done, mate. They've all have something to say and contribute to the channel, and they seem like upfront people, Miriam and Chris in particular.
Yep. On to the next comment.
Next one. Righto. This is from Merv190. Here's a thought. Just have one channel for everything. KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't make it too hard.
So we sort of touched on at the start of the video why, unfortunately, I've had to break it off. There was no way it could stay on Off Track 4x4. It had to come off on its own channel. The little hindrance of changing names, that was really pain in the ass for everybody. And I commend everybody for sticking on, even though I've had to change the name again. But now it'll stay how it is. It won't be changing from this format. This is how it'll stay moving forward.
Yeah. I think, it was a little bit frustrating. I could sort of see you in particular being frustrated at having to do all these name changes and new platforms and whatnot. And it's good that you did it early and straight away. I think that's the best way to make decisions. Don't muck around. It's not working, do it this way.
Yep.
Okay.
Next
it's
comment.
Almost like the Chinese approach, mate. That's how they operate in life. They pick their target, they go for it. If it doesn't work, they just change to another one. Straight
Pivot.
away. Well done. Okay, last comment. Is that the last comment?
Nah.
No, we've got a few more,
we've got a
mate.
couple.
Jeez.
We've got 3 left.
Okay, David Cox, 8943. What is the protocol when you see influencers out and about? Can you just walk up and introduce yourself? Remember, if you have been following them for a while, you feel you know them, but they don't know you. Good luck with the new direction the channel is taking.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, a little example. We were walking in a town on the York Peninsula, and from across the road, we hear a voice. What are you guys doing down here? And I thought, who is that? And we turn around, and here's a gentleman sitting in his car. So we walked over, and we had a chat for maybe 25 minutes. We learned a lot about the local environment. How do I feel about it? Look, you put yourself in the public eye. I am exactly the same in real life as I am sitting right here, and as you see in those videos, and people need to know that. How many times do you hear them saying, I met an influencer and they were rude? Yeah. You've got to remember too, some of the bigger ones, they're hard pressed for time. It's like a full-time working cycle. So when people come up, they give you a little bit of time to start with, and then I think you need to respect that. Yep. If they want to carry on the conversation, you do. If they look like they're cutting it short, so you just got to be aware, right?
So can I ask you, because I know SKT commented that they've actually had people come up and knock on their closed door on their caravan to chat to them. Yeah. Do you think that's okay, or is that taking it too far?
Oh, look, as long as there's not a look, these guys aren't rock stars, right? In the small market of the world's biggest television station, YouTube, right? They're really not big. But in Australia, what they're doing, they're sizable, people recognise them, knock on the door. I don't think it's a big issue, right? I would just say hi. I'd walk straight out the door and say, hi, how you going? If it was inconvenient for whatever reason, we were videoing or something, I'd just explain that, offer him to come back a bit later.
Hey, that's a really good response. I like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's like over the top. These people, like in Australia, you don't get bombarded.
No.
Right? It's not like the paparazzi are following you around. Right? So they come up, they talk to you, and most people just want to get to know you. Yep. Or they feel that you're famous in some way, and they just want to interact for a minute. So just be respectful.
Okay. Oh, do you have a flat battery? I will shut mine down. Guys, we've got a flat battery on the other side because you won't be able to see him or hear him anymore. So his camera's just shut down, so we'll be back in a second. Okay, we're back. Technical difficulties.
We're back, mate. We could make a whole episode on this video stuff, but anyway.
This is what the people love. They love the stuff ups, love seeing it raw, not being edited out, and that's what it's about. People want to see real people giving it a crack. Yeah,
I've got a garbage truck going by here now, so you can probably hear that. Anyway, let's carry on, mate.
I've had a hip camper drive past, and I've had Ash wheel the garbage bin.
Good, I didn't hear it.
So we've been waffling on a bit, so we're going to jump into the hot topic. That's enough for the comments. So the hot topic this week is a really interesting one.
Yeah.
Which, when I brought it up with you, I was like, oh, do I want to do it? But you had some really good thoughts. So is travel content dying on YouTube? What's your thoughts?
Well, look, I'm not sure it's dying. There's this wealth of information, and people are popping up every week that are just, I'm going to do a travel video. It's more about the quality of the content, whether you like what they're doing, whether they entertain you, and whether they can keep you coming back. So it's like, whether it's dying or not, I'm not sure it's dying. I think the quality of what's out there and the variety probably is the real opportunity to get ahead. You got to remember that all these people out there making videos, I'd swear, without any research, 98% are not professional photographers, videographers, production people. So they're struggling and they get better and better and better. So be genuine, I think. Take people to places that they don't normally go, but you got to make it exciting. And the reality is, you know, if we make a video about the beach and you have a nice thumbnail with the beach without the girl in the bikini, more people will watch that than they do the one of the picture of the desert. Now,
Which is funny, isn't it?
It's just the way it goes, and you've got to respond to what people want. That's why the bigger people are typically all around the coast all the time.
Because what is it, 98% of Australians live on the coastline?
Well, yeah, and they just have this, they'd love to see the turquoise water, and you don't blame them. You know, I don't know, but it's got to be exciting. Some of the stuff I watch now, I just turn off. I go, if I'm not intrigued within the first few minutes, and that's a sign of the times. Typically the audience on YouTube, I think in the travel destination market for camping and caravanning, they're going to be older.
Yep.
Right. So, and they've seen a lot of stuff. You can just punch in the keyboard now. I want to go to this place, and up come 5 videos. So you get to watch all 5 and make your decision.
So how do you feel? Do you think that too many people are going to the same place? Like, I'll never watch another Exmouth video again. I'm so sick of seeing Exmouth.
Well, I don't think you need to go to Exmouth, mate. You've seen all the videos. Or what about the Ningaloo coast? Now that looks impressive.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind seeing.
Looks windy though.
Yeah. Look at windy. I would really like them to talk more on that west coast. Everyone does say it's windy, but there's some really things you got to cope with, and if they could be put across on the camera, the ones that do that better, I think, just do well.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the ones that only show it perfect every single day, because the reality is it's not perfect every single day.
No, and you have stuff go wrong, mate. Whether it's a screw fall out of the cupboard or something falls off or you run into a kangaroo.
Yep. And I think that's why people are loving, like Elnick, I think everyone can agree, is just surging from strength to strength.
Yeah. There was
one. They just they just let it all hang out. Like they honestly don't script it. They're just like, okay, we have grubby kids and we're going to show how grubby they are. Like this is life on the road.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do have kids like that, and that's the reality. There was one particular episode where the 2 kids are playing in the mud or something, and I really, it takes a while to get me laughing at anything, but it was so funny. I nearly fell off the lounge, mate. And I don't know, like travelling families out there, when you're a couple, it's organisable, right? When you're a family with kids, and you see the mess poor Alania's got in the caravan when they're doing the cooking segment. I just think, my God, these people, they deserve a medal.
So Ash is a grub, and when I go away with her in the caravan, man, it gets difficult for me because she's somebody that loves taking something out and just leaving it there. And in a caravan, there's not much space, and I'm just like, man, I can't handle it. The caravan just gets trashed.
Right.
So I don't know how people do it with kids.
Yeah. Look, I don't even know either, mate. I don't know. I've got no idea. Well, I do have an idea. We have 5 kids, you know, and they've all sort of had this experience over their time. But, mate, it's epic. They deserve a medal. Yeah, I'll subscribe to them all day. You can only subscribe once. But get out there and watch them. And they've done it the hard way too. They've been around for quite a while. So it's not like they just appeared and suddenly got 50,000 subscribers.
No, they've been churning away.
Build it up, build it up, build it up,
Yep.
and then you have a genuine following, which I think is a key thing. Anyway, I don't
So
think it's
you
really
guys
dying,
comment
it's
below.
just the quality.
Yeah, you guys comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think it's dying out? Do you think it's changing? What do you think? My honest opinion, I think there's now a lot of caravan sponsorships. There's a lot of ads, so people being paid to do ads. eBay's a big one that's really come into the space now, and it's pretty much whole episodes just on eBay, buying stuff from eBay and going and using it.
Yeah.
So I think that's not helping, and I think people are sort of getting sick of seeing the extra ads, not the YouTube ads, but the ads that the content creators are making. So yeah, you guys comment below, have your say. What do you think? Is it still interesting, or do you feel it is dropping? Okay, next segment, Around the Tube.
Cool.
So, first channel we're talking about, this was actually one that you brought to the table, which is why it's handy to have new people each week, because we don't normally get many sort of boating, fishing ones. So, who are we talking about?
Listen, Salty Jock's Adventure, right?
So, before we get into it, I'll play a little clip for everyone, and then we'll get chatting.
My name's James, I'm a single dad and I'm sailing around Australia with my 2 young daughters, and if you're ever wondering how far you can really send it, you know, I think we got really close. If you're going to watch any of our videos, watch this one, because we're about 2.5 months into the first Kimberley trip at this point. We had a whole litany of issues coming up with the boat that really made it the decision obvious that we had to get out and start making our way as quickly as we could today.
So there you go. You guys would have seen the little clip from Salty Jock's Adventure Co. So take it away. You may as well talk about them. You know more than me about their channel.
Look, I've just been watching for a little while, and I'm staggered that they only have 5,000 or 6,000 subscribers. Really, it's a guy. He's a single parent. Now, how that come about, I don't know. But single parent. He's got 2 young girls, and he sets out and he goes on these adventures in a yacht. Now, when I say a yacht, a sailboat, right? It's not a $400,000 luxury yacht, right? It's a hard-working person's yacht, if you can have such a thing. You know, a little bit breaking down, things go wrong. Some of the exploring he does, some of the ideas he needs to come up with to fix things, the way he interacts with his children, and the places they go to, all Australia. Yep. It's just well worth watching. And the other day, in that latest episode where the engine mounts break on the little diesel clunker engine that's in there, you know, he had to come up with his own way of supporting it and jacking it up, and took him a while. He looked a bit desperate there to me at one stage.
Well, yeah,
and as he says, you know, there's a limit to how much you keep pushing yourself to go forward.
And it's not as if he's in populated areas. He's literally in really remote areas and having problems go wrong with 2 kids.
Yeah.
And I subscribed.
Yeah,
as soon as you sent it to me and I watched, I'm like, man, this dude is doing something epic. Yep, I'm in. It looks really fun to watch. So I recommend you guys get along.
And it's something different.
Yep, definitely something different. If you guys have watched it, comment below. Let us know what you think of his channel and any of the sort of past experiences you've seen on there, because I reckon it's worthwhile watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure,
Next
mate.
channel, which is Grab Life by the Goulet. So I'll play their clip now and then we'll get chatting about it.
So, everything got checked out. Looking good.
There you go.
Let's go and check
Runway
out
ice pack.
what's going on in here.
That one.
Lucky for us, we ate all of our fresh fruit and
crap,
veg,
trying to run away
or
again.
put them in the freezer.
Okay, so for East Coast people, this definitely would have been a bizarre episode where for everybody on the West Coast it's probably normal, but talk about the WA border crossing.
It seems like everyone coming to the east, right? It's a free-for-all. Once you get to the New South Wales border, Queensland, take it all in, because that's where all the stuff comes from in the first place. But when you're going the other way, you just got to be organised about what you can take. There's plenty of websites that detail meticulously, but one of the things to remember is pretty much all the product that they ban can be taken over if it's processed to some degree.
Yep.
So if you have a blender, get all your fruits in there, blend them up, put them in the freezer, top and tail your onions, you know, cut your tomato up and your onion and put it in a box so you can make some of that flashy stuff you have with your cheese platter. right? But yeah, they went across there, and it seemed to me like a big deal. Like that's what the thumbnail said, and then it's just one scene where they couldn't take their half an avocado in.
But that's YouTube these days, right? Make the thumbnail epic.
Yeah, but it's so. I think with those thumbnails, you want people to watch and capture their attention.
Yep.
You need to address what's on the thumbnail within 30 seconds of the video coming out.
Yep.
Right, and if you don't do that, it's just clickbait. If I got to watch for an hour, or hang around to the end and I'll show you how I put my tap on. I get all that. All that means is that they're not creative enough.
Yep.
But that's just my opinion.
So have you done the WA border before?
No, not in a car.
Yep, but
it's the only place I probably haven't been.
I'm sure you've done the Queensland, New South Wales one before.
Yeah.
And for anybody that lives in WA, what do we have on this side? When you go across the border, what is there?
I think when they come into South Australia, there might be something.
But yeah, on Queensland, New South Wales, there's nothing. So livestock, there's some cameras set up, and you're not meant to take livestock across. But again, there's no physical person stopping you from doing it. You just drive across.
That's right. Take whatever you like, mate.
Yep. Over there, it just looks like a different world.
Yeah. But that show, Grab Life by the Gulays, I think their names must be Gulays. But look, I've watched a few of their episodes over the time, and I think they're getting better and better.
Yep.
You just want them to be real people.
Yep.
But that appeals to a certain part of the market. Others want to be entertained a little bit more.
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay.
Then we got the last one, mate. What's happening?
Onto the last channel. So Jack and Megan, I'll play their clips. We did play them last week. I didn't really want to play them again for a second week, but there was some really good points. So I'll play that video now, and then we'll get discussing about them.
It turns out, guys, I've done a bit of reading on Google, and this beach has actually been shut down for reasons we did not know. I thought it was crappy campers leaving their grey water tanks open and rubbish and toilet paper everywhere. It's not.
What is it?
It's social media. There's an article here about YouTubers and Instagrammers or whatnot coming here and showing it off, and that's why they're closing it down. It's caused too many people to come here. I noticed that they had this gazebo. Look what they've done. They've left their gazebo here. That is disgusting behaviour. And that is why places like this are getting shut down. Unless they're coming back, I don't know. But that is not good enough. You cannot leave stuff like that laying on a beach and ruin it for everyone.
Okay, so the first one was the beach closure, which I stuffed up last week. I said WA. I probably should have done a bit more research. And it was South Australia. But yeah, they were there, and it was interesting, the article they read. What do you want to touch on what the article said was the reason that the beach closed?
Well, I think everyone's making this big deal out of the comment that social influencers or YouTubers or whatever have made it so popular that it's unsustainable in terms of being managed now. It's out of control. We were actually driving along the road. We'd been there for the 3 days earlier, and on the first day they made the announcement, we put up our own little video of what was going on, and then we saw a couple of other influencer people were actually camped on the beach. And then Jack and Megan were coming along in their Myrtle as we were leaving about 10 k's up the road. And we waved to them. Now, I've never met them at all, but I thought, well, they're going down there. In terms of the closure, they're basically saying, look, there's just too many people there. We can't manage it, and we've got to do something about it. So straight away, we're closing it. Now, there are no facilities on the beach whatsoever. So if you're not self-contained, there's going to be a problem. If you go down there for 3 or 4 days in a caravan, you need to be able to contain 3 or 4 days worth of grey water. And apparently people weren't doing this. They're letting it out. There's one claim that there are people letting their toilet cassette out in the surf. So when you start to hear these things, and combining that with locals, like you can drive your Commodore down there on that beach, right? If you can get down the entry, and they were driving up there doing a few burnouts and, donuts, that kind of thing, staying overnight, gazebos in the sand dunes, fair bit of rubbish around. So yeah, they did the right thing and picked up that gazebo.
Yeah, because that was amazing. Right. So he touched on it at the end. about the gazebo. I would have loved for that to be more main, and at the sort of, which is what I commented, saying, you know, I'd love for you to actually put that as a main showpiece in the video right at the start, because if you actually read through their comments, 90% of their comments were on the gazebo, which shows their subscriber base would rather him have that mainstream and be talking about it more. So I did reach out to them to see if they wanted to come on and do a video and talk about it. Unfortunately, they're definitely a very busy couple. They have a lot going on.
Yeah.
And they sort of don't want to go too much into it. Obviously, this is their main job, and they don't want to risk upsetting people. So I get that. It would have been good to see it, but that's where I said to them, that's okay. I'll run with it. So if you're a grub that's leaving your gazebo, your rubbish, your poo, honestly, you're ruining it for everybody. And something I haven't said to you, which you don't actually know I'm going to do, on this episode, I want to start up naming and shaming. There's no repercussions for these people. So if you actually catch somebody leaving rubbish, leaving a gazebo, doing a number 2 on the beach and not burying it, take a photo of them in their license plate, tag the Instagram, which I'll have the QR code and the name down below, and name and shame them. Let's make there's an actual punishment for people, because imagine if you're on your lap and all of a sudden people start going, hey, you're those grubs that left the rubbish on the beach. It's going to ruin your experience. So I just think let's try and make an actual punishment for these people.
Yeah, I think times are different to what they used to be. I don't disagree with what you're saying there. However, I'm not sure people are going to put themselves out on a limb to do that.
Yeah.
I do think, though, that there's plenty of people that will take pictures and a little bit of video and provide that to the police for information.
Yep.
I personally think that would be a better approach.
Well, somebody commented, I think it's a $5,000 fine in South Australia. So they were saying if they got any video footage, give it to the police and they'll get fined $5,000.
Yeah, so if you've got the evidence, I would say do that, you know, provide it to the authorities and go for it. Now, that might seem like a lame-ass statement to make. However, I don't see people out there, you know, all black belts, running down the beach saying, listen, mate, you need to sort out your canopy and get it out of here and pick up that rubbish while you're at it. People will take a photo and provide it to the authorities. So.
Yep. Isn't it funny?
So I do
that,
and even disagree with people there a little bit.
That's all right. I'm happy for you to disagree, but I'm one of the people. Even with if people are walking their dog and don't pick up the dog shit, I'm one of the people that turn around and watch them and make them pick up the dog shit. Has your camera gone again? We'll be back in a short break again, guys. GoPro definitely swapped to DJI. So, I think you're going out and buying a DJI Action now, and your GoPro's going in the bin.
I'll have to get something that's overheated with the conversation of this bloody channel, mate. That's what's going on.
It's too saucy.
What's happening over there now? It's bucketing down or something.
Yeah, it is absolutely torrential. Everyone will be able to see behind me. Luckily, I'm under the gazebo of the caravan. I was smart and went, I don't have to move. Don't want to move if it rains.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's carry on. The last thing we want to talk about them, which I hate to do it to them, but I'm not going to let their channel slide just because I'm not going to say they're mates. I do chat to them a fair bit, but yeah, unfortunately, this week they did the bikini clickbait thumbnail.
Right.
So not too saucy. It was still pretty well done, but they were a channel that's been really good at not going down that path.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they gave it a crack, and I think it's probably going to be here to stay as their video took off as a result of doing it.
Who are we talking about, mate? Jack and Megan?
Jack and Megan still.
Right, okay. Well, yeah, I noticed that little clickbait. There was a small figure standing to the left of the caravan.
Yeah.
And I was really admiring Myrtle, the caravan. And then I noticed that to the side.
Yeah.
So, you know, look, didn't make me click. Megan is often seen walking around in those tops.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. Doesn't make me watch, but it obviously makes a whole truckload of people click that button. It's like that other girl. Who's that other girl you bring up quite often?
Oh, yeah, Molly Dixon. Man, her video this week
You got to watch that, mate. That's completely uninteresting until you get to the coconut scene. You got to watch the coconut scene.
I don't like to be too out there spoken, but man, that episode, how stuff wasn't coming out.
There's
she
nothing
has
coming
pulled
out. I've been banging it.
She's pulled the bikini down so low.
And those briefs that you get now that's the current fashion. So she's keeping up with the fashion. So whether she has a swimming costume sponsor, I don't know. And she's out
I think
there.
she sells her own swimmers.
Oh, right. She strikes me as a nice... Look, I don't know nothing about her, right? She's making content. She's come on the scene very short time ago and done really well. So, and what you're sort of suggesting, I guess, is that it's because of the way she presents and the gear that she wears.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, all to her. It's a business to her, and she would be making a mozza.
That's fine. Yeah, look, there are websites you can go to now to see approximately, how much people are earning.
Yep.
So you get an idea. But look, she's out there doing her thing. I like the fact she's by herself. I'm presuming that's correct. Is that correct?
Yeah, she's got a couple of friends that she sort of chimes in from video to video, but she's by herself. I presume that her videos are probably a fair bit behind, so that way nobody can run into her, because I reckon it would be dangerous if people could find her. Yeah, you're
probably right. And, look, you don't want any harm to come to those sort of people that are out there doing it by themselves. But again, there'll be people sitting there watching it now saying, well, she dresses like that. Well, she's inciting some kind of bad behaviour. Now, I can't agree with that, but I understand that point.
Yeah, you got to have self-control, but I do understand.
Yeah. The coconut scene, mate. You have to watch the coconut scene. Anyone out there?
Yep.
Right,
moving on, last segment, algorithm takeover.
Yep.
So if you want to run through the channels that are on this week, and anybody else who wants to give any shout outs to any channels, comment them below, and we'll put them in each week in the algorithm takeover. And you guys are seeing I'm now doing a short with the videos, and also that goes on Instagram as well as a reel.
So Dave and Nick's Adventures. Yep. DNA.
Yep.
Escaping Crowds. Chase the Weekend. Yep. Only Leaving Footprints. Off-Road Touring Life. Off Campin' Andy. I haven't watched that, I'll have to have a little look at it. And Roaming Coastlines.
Brilliant. So there's the channels. You'll see Thursday or Friday I'll put the short up as well.
Yep.
Get along, give them a view, give them a thumbs up. Even if you don't like them, give them a thumbs up, give them a comment. Just say commenting for algorithm. There's lots of people that do that now.
Yep.
And just try and help these people get off the bottom, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, look, they're all out there, and I think, as I said before, you just got to be creative, honest, and let the rest, do its own thing,
Yeah, you'll find people that like you for being you. That's the big thing that I tell people. Don't put on a fake character.
Yeah.
Just be you and find your audience.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all fine, mate.
Yep. So how was your first episode?
Terrific. I've been doing this for a long time, it feels. Maybe there'll be more episodes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as I said, this is now something I want to regularly get on, so I'll be reaching out to different people every single week and seeing if they're available. So I'll put down your details again for your channel.
Yep, that's fine, mate.
If you want to say, what's the name of your channel again?
Yeah, Caravans by the Campfire. If you want to check out that channel, look up anything to do with vans, or maybe you're thinking about buying a van, it's worth having a look at our channel. Yep,
and then I'll have discount codes and the code for the charity. Man, it is coming down now. So I'm getting out of here. So with that, like, comment, subscribe, guys. You guys know the drill, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Cheers.